And what we want to do is have some updates and give you some information, certainly with regard to transportation. Our transportation staff has been working throughout the weekend, working on routes, and they're going to share some numbers with you in terms of, again, the number of routes, regular routes that we cover, and the amount of changes in routes that we've had to make to get us this point to get ready to open school. And over half of the student population in Richland 1 rides buses. In yesterday's press conference with the city, we know just in Columbia alone, there are 29 roads that are still out. And if we expand that into the Lower Richland area and also up in the North Main area, there's even more. So a tremendous amount of work has been going on with transportation. Facilities department has been out in our buildings every day, checking on those areas. We will give an update on that and how we will work through boil water and those types of things. So they will give you some information, but we are at the point that we want to begin school tomorrow with a 2-hour delay for our students. Staff will be reporting a 1-hour delay on tomorrow, and we will stay at a 2-hour delay for the remainder of this week for our students. I would like to call to the microphone at this point our transportation director, Ms. Joy, and then we will hear from facilities and operations, and then I will come back and then we'll take any questions that we need at that point.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Kathleen Joy, and I'm the Director of Transportation for Richland 1. We have 194 buses on the road that picking up students for Richland 1. Of those 194, they make up 675 trips. Of those trips, we had to alter 344 of those in order to get around all the detours. Of course, our Lower Richland area is the most impacted. We are getting information up on our website for all of our cluster schools. The last one though to get up will be Lower Richland, and that will be later this afternoon or early evening with the changes in the routes for those parents. We will also utilize school messenger to contact parents for those areas. And we certainly do appreciate your help in getting the word out to the parents, and just let them know, just be patient with us. We're going to help them all we can, and our goal is to get students back in school and safely. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Melvin Henry, Director of Maintenance Services. At this point, I'm happy to report that we are in very good shape as far as our classrooms are concerned. We were impacted at a few schools. We have 2 media centers that will be closed when we reopen, Bradley Elementary and Satchel Ford Elementary. We have a couple of auditoriums, one at Greer and one at Lower Richland. But considering the severity of our floods, Richland 1 is in good shape. We have prepared for reopening under a boil water advisory. All of our schools have been outfitted with the sufficient quantities of bottled water to get us through a very short period of time, and we will supplement that as needed depending on what the city tells us. Maintenance and custodial staff will return to regular schedules starting tomorrow morning, so that we will be ready for the students who return on that 2-hour delay. That's it. Thank you.
There were 2 areas that Richland 1 was hit most hard with. One, of course, being transportation, and 2, water. And earlier last week and through the weekend, we wanted to check on the water pressure so that students could use facilities and so forth when we return, or as we started to return. As Mr. Henry indicated, we can work through a boil water advisory, and our student nutrition department that did provide, again, over 2,500 meals to students the past 3 days. They can work through that. They have systems, protocols in place to work through. And they will continue to do that as we go back. So we had to make sure in Richland 1 we had those areas covered. And one, roads being safe, and then two, rerouting over half of those routes. And those routes that Ms. Joy talked about did not include special education, did not include the other routes that we have, specialty routes that we have in the district as well. So I'm certainly appreciative to the transportation staff that has worked literally for the past 4 or 5 days getting us to this point. And what we don't want to have is a situation where the drivers with students on the bus have to navigate detours and road closings without having that information in hand and without having practiced those routes so that they know where to go and what to do in dealing with the traffic that we do have with regular traffic, given the detours that are in place. So we certainly do appreciate those efforts. Student nutrition has again been working diligently, and will be in those systems will be in place as well. I also want to say we're through our student support services department. That's our social workers, our counselors, and those individuals. They have been working to provide information for our administrators and to work with teachers and also work with students. Some of our students have been impacted very badly through the loss of homes, loss of clothing, and those types of things. So we have a crisis management team that we have in place regularly, but we're expanding those efforts, of course, through these next couple of days to support not only our students and those families, but also to support staff. Again, we've had staff impacted as well. So we will see those activities